Hello, Neil.
Hey, all right, how's it going?
Now you are really, really clear this time, and I can hear you as well. Very good. I'm really good. How was your? You look like you had a really good weekend. I saw the pictures. Very nice.
It was a lovely weekend. Lovely weekend.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Was the weather kind? Was it fair? The weather.
Yeah, it was okay. It's been a bit overcast, but yeah, no, it's absolutely lovely, absolutely lovely.
Fantastic. Well done. Fair play to you, my friend. The weather here in Wolverhampton has been a bit temperamental. I did manage to go for a walk in the park as my exercise, but really sometimes the rain would just get you by surprise. So, yeah, and I've been busy doing some podcasts with other collaborators as well. One lady from France, one from America. And I put all that up on my social media. Really interesting. They're both coaches. So I've started a new podcast. I mean, I've got three podcast series now with other collaborators. I
Yeah,
mean, actually four. Well, ours is more of a live rather than a podcast. But the three podcasts I've got, one is Mastering the Mind with the philosopher.
yeah.
One is on looking at body conditioning and using yoga meditation. I'm working with a guy from Indonesia. And then I've started now another podcast series. I've called it Coach's Corner. So this is where I directly
Okay.
collaborate with other coaches. And the lady from France, well, actually, she's settled in here in England now, but she's from France originally. And she's a careers leadership executive coach. So we were talking about the
Yeah.
benefits of coaching, and she did a poll. So she had some data to share as part of the podcast, which was very helpful. And then I got in touch with an amazing lady from America. She's a Paralympian. She's blind. She's got prosthetic eyes, but it didn't stop her from, getting an MBA. She's now doing a doctorate. She's been a para athlete. So she's a runner. She has her own business. She's a coach as well. And I just came across her video with another podcast. I thought I must interview this lady because and that particular podcast I've called Resilience, but it's within my
Yeah,
coach's corner. So maybe we could
yeah,
do a podcast rather than a live. We could do a podcast together, and I could
yeah.
have you as one of my
This is
other coaches. Would that be okay, Neil? Maybe
yeah,
sometime we could arrange it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm not too sure. Are you still able to see me? Okay.
I can see you and hear you clearly. Before it
Yeah.
was a. How about yourself? Are you all right with your internet now?
I think I am, but you're very crackly. So I don't know whether you're on data or on
Okay,
Wi-Fi.
I'm on data at the moment. Shall I switch to broadband or shall I leave it?
Uh, just say something a bit more.
Sorry. Okay, I was saying, shall I switch to broadband or shall I leave it as it is? Can you hear me?
I would try your Wi-Fi.
All right, let me change it. Hello, Neil. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is that better?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're ready. We think we're ready.
All right, fantastic. All right, my friend. So tell me what. Right, loose men to begin. Right, so we've had all the chitty chatty out the way. So tell me
Yeah,
then, my friend, what's on your mind today?
I think we should talk about friendships. Friendships and the
Friendships.
yeah, friendships.
Let's go with it. So tell me about friendships then. So what would you like
Okay,
to talk
okay.
about?
And the reason why I was just sort of thinking about this is obviously I've had a very good friend of mine stay with me this weekend, and
Yeah.
we've known each other now for I think nearly the best part of 20 years. We met when I joined the forces when I was 23, and I don't know what it is. It's that there's always that sort of like label attached to that your friends that you meet in your services are very different to the friends that you meet in your civilian life.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to talk? That's so interesting. Do you want to talk about that? You know, why you think it's different and what's, yeah.
Yeah, I think when we look at it in terms of sort of like in terms of sort of like what we're doing here, in terms of sort of like helping and sort of giving people sort of a bit of inspiration in terms of sort of like our own knowledge and our own experiences.
Yeah.
But it just sort of dawned on me this morning that whenever my friend goes away, I always feel like there's quite an empty void, and he feels like that particular friendship was what I would call like an all-round friendship.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, when we've discussed it previously, you know, that when you sort of like looking at things in terms of perspectives or challenges or anything, you should always sort of like maybe sort of like try and categorize things into little boxes. And I think we've made a point before that, you know, that I think as you get older, or we're not so much older, but I think if you look at your friends and you kind of like define what does that friendship from that person bring to you, you know, like, and I think I've mentioned it before that you might have like a friend that you sort of, you're quite spiritual with, or you might have a friendship, you know, that you could be quite intimate about, or you might have a friendship where you might just like to go and watch a football match. Okay, but I think every friendship brings something to your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just interesting, Sonny, really. And the reason why, like I said, I'm sort of like, here I am sort of waffling about this, but yeah, it's like an all-round friendship. And I think the distinguish that I can make between kind of like my own experience in terms of sort of going up into the military and even 20 years later, there's something really unique about it. And I think, like I said, I think again, that you just get a complete package. You know, you go through so much with each other. And I've been very fortunate that for 20 years that I've been able to keep that friendship. And it's almost like when you see each other, it's just like, it's like it's like you've always been around each other.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Brilliant choice of topic, and thank you for sharing that. I've got lots of insights about friendships. I mean, I've had different types of friendships. You know, soulmates, people that you just connect at a soul level. You know, very very good mates, old mates. Sometimes ambivalent friendships where you happen to become friends with them more because you're both connected to a central person, you know, rather than you coming together by yourselves, but through another person. And you know, so you got ambivalent friendships as well. I think the friendship that you have, the one that you described with the gentleman, where you both you know, served your country, you both are from that kind of situation. I always find that, you know, when you're at a young age, and you particularly find yourself in a circle, or you find yourself in an organization, or you find yourself as a group, and then as a young person you stay together because of your age, those are actually very formative years of your development as a person. And so that person has been there with you, and you've been there with them, both, you know, you've been both there, a part of each other's lives at a very, very pivotal time in your history as men, as human beings, as males, or whatever you want to call it. So then, because you learn together, you grow together, it's almost like you are kind of, it's almost like a family situation in the sense, because in family, you know, you start from somewhere and then you reconnect, and then you might have some time off and then you reconnect. I find that particularly with my old university friends. So I met my university when I was 19, went to uni at 19. And then I'm from Wolverhampton, but I went to Sheffield. And so all my friends were all from the London region. So I don't know whether the Londoners gravitated towards me or I gravitated towards them. I was always like the odd Midlander in the group, but it's always been like that anyway. The odd one out, the rebel, or whatever you call it. And so we have, you know, through the test of time, 33 years, not always seen them. Sometimes about 5 years apart, sometimes 10 years apart. But the last 5 years, since the change of my personal circumstances, I have spent a lot of time with them. In fact, the whole group is galvanized as a result, not as a result of me coming back, but maybe me coming back and then being the catalyst for the old feelings to come back amongst the other group. So we've even done, like, you know, overseas trip together. We've never done that before. So we've been about 4 or 5 overseas trips the last 4 or 5 years. So it's because of that connection. I think at a young age where you were still developing and your values were developing, and maybe your values fused together, which is why there's a bond. There's a spirit. I think it's a spiritual bond, personally, for me. You know, you know, I mean, I have, but you know, and plus also, that is always going to be a connection. And these people are very, very important. They're very special people, because those kinds of friendships can outlast even personal relationships. You know, because, you know, I mean, I was in a 20-year marriage, which came to an end 5 years ago. But then I've known my friends for a lot longer, and we're always we're connecting, dip in, dip out. We're always there for each other. We always feel like we're soulmates, we're brothers. It's like a family feeling. It really is. And I think that's probably why you are able to, like, if I haven't seen my brother for a year, we're busy. You know, he's a family man, he's a businessman, blah, blah, blah. But when we get together, it's like we've never been apart. You know, it's just, we just go back to where we were. And so it probably feels like that when you met him at the weekend. So even though you haven't seen him for a while, it probably feels like it probably feels that it's like you've never been apart, because you've got that very strong bond and connection, like a family bond. And that's why friends and family, they sometimes do go together, hand in hand.
The thing is with it as well, though, Sonny, have you ever been, you know, like I said, and again, just sort of like for anybody that's joining, we're just talking about friendships and stuff like that. But have you ever been somewhere in the world where you just sort of put your feet on the soil and you've just walked around, and I don't know, it's almost like when your nose starts sort of sensing and smelling, and you're like, oh wow, I feel like I've been here before. Or you've gone through your holiday, or even, I mean, I've been fortunate, I don't know about yourself, but I went backpacking in my late 20s, but you sort of go somewhere and you
mentioned that.
And it doesn't matter, you just feel like, oh wow, do you know what, there's something more deeper here. It's not just a place I'm visiting. And Canada was very much like that. When I was in my early 20s and I went to Canada, I had that overwhelming sense of I think I've been here before. And that sort of connection I think is quite a deep connection. And I think if you've got the kind of personality that, and in terms of just being in yourself, that you can be open to things like that, I think you can feel a lot more presence. And that's how this particular friendship feels. It's almost, like I said, very much like I said, like on a spiritual kind of level. It's like you've connected. You know, like what you're saying, it's a real strong sort of connection. And it's not that I don't feel that with other people, but that's the only one person, like I said, that's within my remit of friends that I have that real deep connection. And just building on that point of connection, and I think even with yourself, you know, like I said, and I think it all comes back to frequencies. I think it comes back to vibration levels. I do believe that people have got certain sort of energy levels, or we're vibrating at sort of different things. And I think that's why, like, people like me and you have connected very well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think we've done more Instagram lives than the number of weeks we've known each other. These things are very spiritual. They're very karmic. They're quite karmic, these things. And you know, and yeah, absolutely. It's really, I mean, it's a very, very deep, interesting topic, because we need good friendships. We need to be able to understand what a good friendship is, to have good relationships with anybody, you know, good, say with your partner, with any family members, relatives, even on a transactional basis in terms of, you know, having friendships in the workplace or in business. I know sometimes in the workplace it's a bit dodgy. Maybe it's best to have a friendly approach rather than starting friendships. But then again, some people do. Then they meet at work and then then they start having friendships, you know, and they just start going out and having fun and holidays and whatnot. And it all depends on the situation and the dynamics and how people feel about themselves, about each other, about everything. So it is a really important topic. And I think what you said about vibration, that is key, you know, for me. Even now, even though I've got my long-term soul brothers, I know I'll always be there for them and they'll be there for me whenever we need each other, like family. And we might be miles apart, and there may be a lot of time that elapses. When we get together, it'll be the same as before, you know, because we've had that bond, you know, that bond from when we were very, very young. But also because of this vibration, the vibration, it's so important that we also pick up on the vibes and the vibration when we are with new people, because you never know, there could well be a potential new friendship, and good quality friendships can be very enriching for your values, for your soul, for your health, good for your mental health, your emotional well-being. You might meet someone who could really help you pivot or switch the corner, or just give you a new idea, a new perspective, you know. And I am someone, you know, I have to be honest, you know, I don't normally go out seeking friendships but the last 5 years I've just been my real authentic self, knowing myself completely, being comfortable with who and what I am, good, bad, otherwise. That then for me gives off natural vibes that whether it repels people or it draws them in. But I have to say, the people that have been drawn in, and I've been drawn into them in a karmic frequency, we've got really good friendships, really good, that I've even visited them in different parts of the country. And I have a funny feeling that I'm sure me and you are going to be meeting one day somewhere in the country. Mind you, the pictures you were showing on your Instagram where you were with your friend looks marvelous, beautiful, just my kind of area, greenery, serenity and historic relics everywhere. I just love places like that. That just feeds my soul. That feeds my soul. There you go.
We went to Glastonbury.
Oh wow, near Bridgewater.
Wow. We went up there. But it's just interesting, and I think, again, like I said, sort of building on this whole concept of friendships. And I never really thought about it. I don't think when I left school, or even when I was at school, and when I look back at that, like now, when I was at school, they were not me. You know, the people that I knew at that point in my life, like I said, you know, they just weren't me. You know, and I went on a bit of a mission to kind of like discover who I was, I think, in life. And I definitely can relate back. Like I said, I think when you do look at friendships, you know, you have to surround yourself with the correct energy, you know. And I think you've got to go towards heaters, and you can't go toward drains.
Yeah.
You know?
I love your analogies. You don't have hit it on the head, Mr. Loose Man.
You know, it's important, isn't it? And I think as well, you've got to surround yourself with people that've got like a winning mentality. You know, I'm not saying we've all got to be sort of wanting to do like 100-meter sprint and try and break a world record, but you've got to surround yourself with people that kind of bring that best out of you. And I think, but I don't think there's any hardship. I don't think there's any hardship when you get to a point in your life where you can kind of realise that actually, do you know what? Certain things have taken you so far to that point of your chapter of your book. But like you're saying, if you open up the door, you can allow other people to come in.
Yes, which I never expected. I never thought 5 years ago. Oh, hello, bring him on. Is it he or a she? Sorry.
No, I'm just closing my door. I think someone was at my door, but no,
I think your pet wants a piece of the action. He can come and join us if you like. Say,
yeah.
Ben's got a lot to say as well.
I just think it's really interesting, and I do think that, and again, you know, asking you a direct question, I've definitely felt like there's been points in my life where fate has stepped in. You know, fate stepped in, and you've been in a situation, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like 6 months later, here I am. You know, like, wow, I would never have thought if I hadn't have met that person that I would be doing this 6 months later.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
And again, I think it all comes back to connection. I think it comes back to vibrations, whatever or frequencies.
Yeah.
And also
Very
as well,
important.
you know, and the point that I wanted to sort of convey today through our discussion is that you really do have to be mindful, I think, about who you surround yourself with, you know, because again, going back to that analogy,